Good morning, YouTube. Just had a quick video I wanted to make. Something that I think a lot of us have to discuss and think about is antibiotics, medication during an SHTF situation. I know a lot of us use them on a normal basis, but trying to get them without a prescription is obviously a little bit more problematic. And there's been a few things said here and there for quite some time about alternative uses, some of the opportunities with even in the veterinary scale. And decided to do a little bit of searching for myself because a lot of the things that we end up using are commonly used: penicillin, amoxicillin, augmentin, Cipro, or what one of those, erythromycin, one of those to treat normal infections. Obviously, you have stronger grade and broader spectrum antibiotics for uh, resistant strains. But on a general scale, the normal day-to-day infections that we need to have some kind of protection against, those would be some of the brands that are used. And saw that some people had put out either questions or opinions off of aquatic or fish antibiotics. And it kind of intrigued me, so I decided to do a little bit of research. And I went in through it, and obviously you get kind of the party line from the FDA and some of the authorities on it, saying obviously this is a bad thing. This is not, they're not designed for human consumption. Even though through deeper research you end up finding that they come from the same producer, the same manufacturer, but for legal reasons, they have to be labeled as for aquatic or veterinarian use only, even though it's the exact same product. And so I tried to find something that would actually be a detailed description of what is the difference or what is the medical efficacy of some of these antibiotics. And so I ended up looking up this one research study. It's in the Baltimore Sun. It's from 2002. And it was actually reported on in the New England Journal of Medicine. And the person who wrote it was Benedict Carey. And the gentleman that he interviewed was a Brandon Goff, who works for the Pentagon Clinic in Washington. And they reported a case of an Army Special Forces soldier who had been self-treating off and on for 3 months to battle a sinus infection that had just come and gone a little bit here and there. And through a little bit of probing, he admitted that, yes, I've been getting this at the fish aisle at the local pet store. And so Brandon Goff decided to go investigate for himself, went to one of the pet stores, and said that he found penicillin, tetracycline, erythromycin, amoxicillin, and penicillin. Now, this is where it gets kind of funny. It says, in all, there are about a dozen antibiotics commonly used by humans, sold in clearly labeled doses. Now, okay, they're saying these are commonly used by human beings, so it's the same product. Now, the only objection they seem to have is when bombarded but not killed off by antibiotic drugs, bacteria eventually evolve defenses against drugs, and tougher bugs are much more difficult to eradicate. That's true of anything, any product you use. You go to the doctor, they start you on a low spectrum. That doesn't work. They increase it to a different spectrum. That doesn't work. And so everything I say in here is my opinion. I don't advise you to do this. I don't advise you that this is safe. I take no liability on any of this. But I do find it interesting that, you know, in a SHTF scenario, you have something that is fundamentally and molecularly the exact same product, that for a legal reason they can't market that way. And so, I think that obviously if you have the ability to get something like a Cipro or an Augmentin, and those are the big batters, have those ready for something that's dire. But I mean, these things seem like if they're the exact same product in an SHTF scenario, I would rather try something than to not have anything. And obviously, you can get them without a prescription and um, without having to go through a doctor. And so, I look at it this way: it's like you can eat a can of dog food. We don't choose to because we don't need to right now. But if you're on the point of starvation, that's not going to be an issue. And again, None of us would choose to do this simply to save a few extra bucks in a normal circumstance. But there is a valid point that could be made about, in an SHTF situation, fish antibiotics, which are fundamentally, molecularly the same product, the same medication, would work the same way. So my advice, my opinion, do the research yourself. Look for some information. It might be something that's good for you. It might not. You have to make that determination. But it's something that gives you a little bit more flexibility as you look at, how do I prepare for not just a food, beans and bullets kind of thing. It allows you to think also like the bandages, on a medication scale. Sometimes I think that gets overlooked. So just wanted to put that out there. Found it this morning. Thought you guys might enjoy it. Have a great day.